So today we're diving deep into a hidden connection, a link between our bodies, our life patterns, and the cosmos itself. We're going to explore this wild idea that your spine holds a kind of star memory, and that sometimes, well, it just needs a little debugging.
Have you ever had that nagging back tension that just will not go away no matter what you do? Or maybe you've noticed that you keep hitting the same frustrating roadblocks in life, almost like you're stuck in some kind of loop. It's incredibly common, right? But what if the reason for it all is way deeper than you think? I mean, what if it's not just about bad posture or a stressful week at work? What if we're talking about a kind of system error? A tiny glitch in your personal connection to the vast energy of the universe?
Okay, so let's unpack this idea of a system error. Before we can really understand the error, we first have to get a sense of what the system looks like when it's running perfectly.
You see, at our very core, we're all part of this great grand universe. The spiritual teacher Shinjiki Takahashi talked about this a lot. He said that when we align our hearts with what he called the middle way, that path of balance, we start to resonate perfectly with the vibrations of nature. And that's where we find real peace and well-being.
But when our own ego or these negative thought patterns start to take over, that beautiful natural harmony gets broken. It creates this kind of static, this noise in our system. And that noise, it doesn't just stay in our heads. Oh no, it shows up as real, tangible, physical, and mental distress.
So if this cosmic energy flow can be disrupted, where's the actual connection point in our bodies, right? Where is all of this cosmic data being processed?
It's your spine. I know, we tend to think of it as just a stack of bones holding us up, but in this framework, it is so much more. It's the physical hardware for your soul. It's the central hub where all these powerful energies intersect. It's like a living, breathing record-keeping device, storing all the data from your soul's entire journey.
Now, this whole perspective is built on a really powerful combination of three interconnected ideas, or pillars. Think of it as a kind of soul engineering. So let's take a look at each piece of the puzzle that makes this whole thing possible.
Okay, our first pillar comes from Shinji Takahashi, and it gives us the big picture, the universal law of energy. This is really the foundational principle of how our universe operates.
Takahashi taught that at our essence, we are all spiritual beings, or children of Buddha, and that our life here on Earth is basically a training ground, a place to polish and refine our souls. The crucial part is this: when our mindset, our thoughts, and our intentions fall out of alignment with the universe's natural, harmonious cycle, that's when the flow of vital energy gets blocked. And, well, that blockage has to show up somewhere.
And that leads us right to our second pillar, which comes from the legendary psychic Edgar Cayce. So if Takahashi gives us the universal law, Cayce shows us how that energy becomes deeply personal, connecting the huge, vast cosmos directly to our own internal systems.
Cayce's work suggested that the planets in our solar system actually resonate with our body's endocrine glands, which are really the physical counterparts to the chakras. He taught that the lessons from our past lives don't just vanish. They show up in this life as urges or impulses that are linked to a specific planet. So for example, Saturn's heavy foundational energy resonates with the first chakra, while the loving, harmonious energy of Venus connects to the fourth, right there in the heart center.
And that brings us to the third and final pillar. So we have the universal law from Takahashi, we have the personal planetary influence from Cayce, and this last piece shows us exactly where all of this energy and information gets physically stored. This is the spine's emotional blueprint.
Okay, and this is where it gets really specific, and maybe a little personal for some of you. Discomfort in your cervical spine, that's your neck, often points to overthinking, or maybe even refusing spiritual messages. The thoracic spine, your mid-back, that can hold on to blocked emotions. And the lumbar region, that lower back area, is so deeply connected to our anxieties about survival, things like money, security, and feeling all alone.
So, when we combine all three of these pillars, wow, we get this incredibly powerful diagnostic tool. We can start to read our physical symptoms not as just random aches and pains, but as very, very specific messages coming directly from our soul. To put it in a more modern way, I love this analogy. Think of your spine as the motherboard for your soul's operating system. It's the central circuit board where all the programming from the planets and all the energy from the universe connect directly with your physical body. So any issue is basically a sign that the OS needs a debug.
So let's do a couple of mini readings to see how this works. For someone with chronic neck pain, we might look at their astrological chart and find really strong Mercury energy. That's the planet of intellect. This could be a huge sign that they're blocking their own powerful intuition with constant over-analysis. Now, on the flip side, someone with persistent lower back pain might be dealing with an excess of Saturn's energy, which is all about burdens and endurance. This often points to a deep-seated feeling of being unsupported or just totally overwhelmed by life's anxieties.
You know, here's another techie way to think about it that really makes sense. Any specific pain point or misalignment in your spine is like cosmic packet loss. It's a point of resistance, an interruption in that smooth, continuous flow of life energy coming from the universe and into your body.
So, okay, if we can read these messages, then the big question is, can we actually do something about them? If we can diagnose the system error, can we perform a tune-up? The answer is a resounding yes.
The very first step is a massive shift in perspective. Instead of seeing pain as your enemy, you start to see it as a sign from the soul, like a helpful error message popping up. Once you acknowledge that message, you can start to debug the underlying mental or emotional state. Consciously bring yourself back into alignment with that balanced middle way and restore the full, powerful flow of your life force.
And this is where you come in. We actually want to demonstrate this for you. So, I want you to go to the comment section below. First, write down the area of your spine or your body that gives you the most trouble. Second, add your date of birth. Then, in a future explainer, we're going to select some of your comments and provide a little mini reading right here.
Think of this as learning to read the cosmic messages that are literally engraved in your very bones. Once you understand them, you can start to compose a much more harmonious and beautiful symphony of life. And we would be honored to help you find those first few notes.
So the only question left is, don't you want to know the message that's been waiting there for you? We can't wait to see you in the comments.